Our perception about ADHD is changing, and I like to think that we've had a part in doing all of that with our documentaries and now with all of our new videos. And thank you to our patrons for supporting us so we can make new videos, more videos, because our understanding of ADHD and our perspective on it is always evolving, always changing, and it's different for everybody, right? That's one of the challenges with this. Even a common cold, some people have this, some people have that. With ADHD, there's actually 3 different subtypes, and so some people have the hyperactivity and restlessness and being driven, and other people don't. And they're more inattentive and daydreamy and lost in thought. One thing you hear a lot these days that you never heard 15 years ago is ADHD is my superpower. People are owning it, they're claiming it, and certainly for me, I don't think I could have written hundreds and hundreds of episodes of radio and television, and I don't know, countless thousands of stage performances. And I was writing, acting, directing, sometimes producing, all of these different things I was doing, driven. It's great. That said, I've also become increasingly aware of the costs. And I know the costs of higher rates of car accidents, far less likely to get through school, higher rates of incarceration, much higher rates of divorce, of sexually transmitted diseases, or at least being tested for them because, I wasn't prepared, I didn't think ahead, and so on. So there are those common costs that are studied, but there's a cost that nobody really talks about, or not much. And I'll give the example from my life, something that just cut me to the quick. So recently I got some pictures sent from a long time ago. My daughter was 4, maybe 3, 4, 5. We're lying on the couch together. I'm reading every day. We read books, and I would read them to her and then eventually to her brother as well. And I've stopped doing that. And anyway, there's this picture, and the 2 of us are there, and then we're going like this, and then we're going like this in the second picture. And we did this all the time. And yet when I saw the picture, I burst into tears because I had forgotten. I had forgotten that there's so much that happened with my kids growing up I have no memory of. I have so little of my own life that I remember. And part of that is the neurotransmitters. The dopamine isn't there long enough to form the memory. And the other is that we're so distracted, or in my case, my wife calls it, when you're here, you're thinking about you should be there. When you're working, you're thinking about you should relax and talk to the family and do things with the family. And when you're doing things with the family, you're thinking, I should be working. And my mind was never there. That's why I stubbed my toes. My toes look like, well, they're not that bad, but you know what I mean? Not aware, unaware. And it comes to the point, if you've been through a pandemic, and many of you have that experience of just, what day is it? I don't know. What did we do? What did I have for lunch? But that's like forgetting you had a job somewhere for a year or whatever. And the other thing is that I wasn't there a lot because I was touring, doing comedy shows, because that was giving me way more dopamine than changing diapers and being there for the kids, much as I loved being there with my kids. Anyway, I think, like everything with ADHD, this is true, and so is the exact opposite. It can be a gift. And for me, it was. I found the perfect job writing short skits, right? I've talked about this before. But in so many other areas of life, my finances, taking care of my health, brushing my teeth even, and so all these simple things that everybody else would do well, I think that with ADHD, the inability to focus on one thing, to have a dozen ideas, great when I'm writing comedy. Not so great when my child is pouring out their heart to me, or when I'm just sitting with friends having a conversation and not lost in thought somewhere else. Because the next day, when I think back, it's like, what did we do yesterday? Oh yeah, we went, Tony and Michelle's, right. If I hadn't asked and been reminded, 3 days from now, I'd have forgotten. So like with so many aspects of ADHD, it's situational, whether it's a superpower, a gift, a strength, or a failing, a weakness, a problem that is insidious and sabotages the best parts of your life and your dreams and your ambitions and your efforts. So yes, it is a superpower, and you can be a superhero, but you can also become a supervillain to your own life. That was an odd analogy. If this resonates with you, if you've experienced something similar, if you've found that it's not always a superpower, let me know in the comments. Share what your experience is. And if you want to help us on our crusade to transform how the world views ADHD and how people with ADHD view themselves, please become a patron.